rifle player. He's going to be a lot for TSM to deal with. First ban is going to come from Pac-Man. It's going to be the Semtex. Don't know if that one is too important to get rid of early. What's your thoughts on it?
Important enough for them to go after. I think they just don't want a reason to be running Flak Jacket. Maybe they take out the HC as well later on in this process. But we all know what Rise are going to do. They're going to try to make it as gun-on-gun as possible. They'll be the ones taking out the tacticals. They'll be ones taking out rapid fire and high caliber. Yeah,
you're going to see Overclock go on the side of TSM. It's going to be Proofy getting rid of that one. If you're a Looney, you're probably looking at flashbangs. You're probably looking at stuns. And there you go. It's going to get rid of stuns there with our 4th vote in the ban and protect process. Last few we see go here, going to be flashbangs. Do we see any specialist abilities go? What else do you think is available?
Well, I mean, honestly, wouldn't be surprised to see the Purifier go.
Yeah, I mean, high caliber you think goes. And then, I wouldn't be shocked to see the Purifier. We've seen it make a huge impact on some of our games so far in Stronghold, especially over by the Bunker Hill. The Purifier comes in way too big over there. Maybe the HCXD close things out. That's another possibility.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because they went after the Semtex, so clearly trying to target the lethals there. The frag's still in the game, but not sure if that'll get too much use in hardpoint. But time's starting to wind down for Wheats, and there's going to be that HC ban.
Yeah, the HC. So that is so they don't have to use Flak Jacket as much during this one. You expect these first 2 players, Pac-Man and Slack. Slack's going to go with kinetic armor. I think Pac-Man could potentially be one that could run. I was going to say the Purifier. Okay, yeah. Well, you figured you needed that second one. You're going to have Proofy probably run a scythe. Pac-Man makes a lot of sense to use the Purifier.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And because no abilities get banned out, it's probably going to be Heatwave, Kinetic, Purifier, Scythe will be all the specialists picked up by both these teams. Really expecting a mirror matchup. I think Classic definitely goes for a Purifier here as KILLCAM picks up Kinetic. Wheat's probably going to pick up Heatwave.
Now, the last one, it's going to be Classic for the side of Rise Nation. Does he go with another weapon? Probably the Purifier. Yep, that's a pretty easy pick after I just looked through the rest of his teammates. Now players going to get some time to edit their classes. Who do you think wins this series? I'll just be blunt. I think this one is one that Rise can definitely win, potentially 3-0.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there. It's tough to go against Rise, and this is certainly a team I've underestimated at times in Black Ops 3, but after their land victory at UMG South Carolina, I can't do it anymore. They're definitely looking like a top 2 team in the game.
And then obviously, you know, we'll talk a little bit about it now. We got some time before this first game starts, but tomorrow, roster lock. Do we see any moves with any teams?
I think TK has to make a move. Like, they've been struggling. DT, they've already made a roster change. They've added Kill. That's been, like, the one big change they've made. I don't think CLG makes any more changes. Really, the one team I'm looking for to change something up has got to be Team Caliber.
Yeah, I think CLG looks like they're headed in the right direction. Whether they can make it all the way back into that top 8, I mean, time will tell. I think H2K, I think we've seen too much good out of them with this roster to potentially even make something happen. I think TK is the one that has a bunch of question marks around it. Doesn't seem like those guys are getting along too well right now. Really struggling. It seems like a change would probably do that team some good.
And who do they go after? I mean, do they go after maybe Complex, who's like go from CLG? Do they go after maybe somebody like Mochilla? I do think they need some help in terms of like overall slang, so Mochilla might be an okay pickup from them, but I mean, who do you think what's their like kind of free agent pool like?
I don't know. To be quite honest with you, I really don't know.
Who do they get rid of?
I don't even know how you would approach that. I think Goon is probably their strongest player at this moment in time.
I could agree with that.
I don't know what you can do and what you would need. Honestly, I think you need somebody who's going to be like really aggressive and really kind of like force the issue for that team, take pressure off of everybody else. But those players are extremely difficult to find. And it's going to be Stronghold Hardpoint loading up here first. TSM going up against Rise Nation. It's been great having TSM in the Call of Duty world.
Huge organization.
It's been awesome. Yeah, huge organization. Obviously, one of the biggest in North America. More than welcome to have them here. They have a pretty good team as well. You know, these guys, they can definitely hang with some of the best. Obviously, they need, KILLCAM to go big. They need Proofy to play well. I'm definitely looking at Proofy in this series to see how he plays and respawns, especially, in a tough AR battle going against Octane, who arguably, Formal, Enable, like you're looking at those guys as like top, throw Cap in the mix. I think you're looking at some of the top ARs in the game.
I mean, from what I've seen, Wheats has been running the assault rifle a little bit more for this TSM squad, just kind of helping out. He's going to be using a VMP with stock here. He's got grip, quick draw, and stock, but yeah, this is tough to go against Rise. They've just been looking too good as of late.
And we'll kick things off here with Wheats as, the VMP with stock. Let's talk a little bit about that.
I mean, I use stock on subs and Black Ops 2 for search.
Really?
Yeah.
And
I just liked it just because you could pre-aim and you gain a lot of mobility with it as well.
yeah, and
It's a little bit stronger here.
Right, and you see players from TSM picking up some kills there early, and they're going to be able to get some time in the hill. It's going to be Pac-Man inside with an AR. Going to have a nice position here. He's going to have players coming directly underneath. Hello. Going to switch out to the MR6. Nice spot there from Pac-Man. Not able to pick up another one. It's Octane coming right over half wall, able to pick up 2. Now, what makes him a special player? Obviously, I've been watching him a little bit longer than you, but in the time that you've seen watching Octane, what have you liked from his game?
He has just such a good shot. Good shot along with good map presence equates to a pretty good player, and that's what I've seen from Octane. Just his ability to execute wherever he is on the shot. That's just a weird interaction between
that was a very
Wheats and Looney. Let's go over to Looney off the respawn and see what he does here off rotation.
Yeah, I think if you want to play a AR role at a high level, I think you definitely want to watch
Definitely
Octane.
need a good shot.
Yeah, well, you definitely need a good shot, but I definitely think you want to watch a guy like Octane, somebody who's never out of position. He's always going to play
the basics.
He's always going to play really far away from the hills, usually not going to be pushing into them too often, wants to set up in the back for his team. But the guy is just always in a good position to win a gunfight, never challenges anything too dumb. You see Classic able to win 3 big gunfights up top. He is one of the players that at the beginning of this game I have been impressed with the most. I think Classic, vastly underrated coming in. We kind of talked about him a lot. Just a very strong player. I kind of put him, I don't want to say I put him in the same like category as Karma, like where like I think they're like the same caliber of player. I think they're the same type though, always in like a position to make a big play.
Yeah, I think Classic is kind of finding his role as like a roamer sort of type of thing,
yeah.
And he could also play off Slack and Looney as well. You know, those guys push out lanes that they get so aggressive that, you know, the teams kind of put focus on, you know, where's Slack, where's Looney. That, you know, sometimes they just forget about Classic and it opens up kind of the map for him to play around with.
You know, TSM got off to a pretty nice start on that first hard point. It was actually Rise able to come back and take the lead here going into the second one. And I tell you what, KILLCAM sitting at 2-7 to make it 2-8. That is something we rarely see out of him. This guy's been putting up some fantastic numbers in the slaying department. Now, tell you what, if he's going to keep playing like this, I don't know if TSM can even respawns if he doesn't go massive.
Yeah, Rise, they look so scary in respawns. It's really their search and destroy game that's a little bit behind, but even their S&D game, it's pretty good. So it's going to be a tough series for TSM for sure, as now Rise, they're starting to build a bit of a lead. It's going to be Slack, pops his kinetic armor, not pushing out. He's 11-2, gets shut down from behind, but at least he was able to earn himself a lightning strike.
Yeah, just turns at the final seconds, wasn't able to pick up that 1 kill, and gonna have Looney in the hard point. Gonna pick up 1 kill, gonna get taken out by KILLCAM from the side, but now the hill gonna rotate over towards Snow. See Octane just doing a good job, already in position. Him and Slack able to win some gun engagements, and the hill should be in control for Rise Nation early.
All right, so Octane, I mean, this is a player that once his teammates kind of push out the lanes, he's not afraid to just sit in the hard point, you know? He'll get his hands dirty from time to time, and that's something that I see from Rise that I don't see from many other teams. You know, they're comfortable letting their AR player just sit and soak up hill time while their SMGs push out all the other lanes.
I feel like this is what FaZe did at the beginning of the game, right? Where Nabel was getting like a ton of hill time, and we were all kind of wondering, like, this guy is running their AR, like, how is he in the hill so much? And he was in the hill using Heat Wave, and he was just putting up massive numbers, and the SMGs were doing a good job slaying around it. And then they went away from it. It definitely seems that could potentially be, you know, something that we see more from Rise. Usually Octane plays all the way in the back, a little bit further away. You have Classic with an AR in the hill, but, you know, putting Octane in the hill, I do not mind that at all. The guy is an absolute monster with the assault rifle in his hand, and it's going to rotate over towards Bunker next. It's
Great setup for TSM, by the way.
TSM has a phenomenal setup ready for this next hill, but it's almost going to be an 100-point lead here for Rise Nation as this one goes over towards Bunker.
I mean, I'm sure they're not going to, but Rise could realistically give up every single second here. They don't need to push to have that big of a lead. It's going to be the purifier from Pac-Man. He's able to find one. Easy. And really on their first push, they break in. TSM kind of contests here. It's going to be Octane now fighting for position as Classic takes out his purifier. He gets nothing done with it, though, as now TSM back in control.
Yeah, it was big kills by Wheats there. And you're going to see players just flooding in for Rise Nation. They're not able to pick up any kills. They got to be careful not to give up streaks to some of these players on TSM, but Rise doing a decent job just contesting this hill. You have Looney still outside of it. He's going to jump in. He's able to pick up 2. Then darts away from Proofy. Proofy able to pick up 1 with the RK5. Somehow still staying alive. Proofy doing a fantastic job inside Bunker. Finally going to get cleaned up, but Proofy buys his team a lot of time there.
Yeah, but in the grand scheme of things, they're still down by, it's going to be around 70 points as we move back over towards the middle hard point. So they're still down by a full hard point and then a little bit. So Rise, they're in control of this game, but that's a good kind of series of events for TSM. You know, they're able to learn some of their specialist abilities to get, you know, some progression towards streaks going. They're unable to earn any, but TSM, that was a way for them to kind of crawl back into this game. In the end, though, Rise maintained their lead.
They make it a bit closer, but this is one that I think Rise has complete control over. Going to see Wheats and Classic spree there by a bit, and you're going to have the Lightning Strike come into play, not taking out anybody, but I think what's really you're going to look at in the second half of this game is whether, you know, KILLCAM can turn things around. You know, him and Pac-Man, you look at, you know, some of the kills that Wheats and Pruvy are putting up, they're doing a decent job, obviously still negative, but they need the SMGs to really come up big.
Yeah, Looney coming around the back, great rotation by him as he helps out his teammates control the spawns for the upcoming hard point over near Match, and he's got some early position here to work with. As Looney, he's starting to heat up a little bit for his team, and as soon as I say that, he dies. But the hard point moves over to Match, and let's see if Rise can lock it down.
Yeah, and it's going to be Classic moving over towards these back steps. Actually, I believe you saw somebody of TSM team kill the other with their gun. So it just randomly team killing up top in Mansion. You're going to see two players jump up top. You're going to have one player come in. Now is actually Pac-Man. It's quickly traded by Looney. Slacked and Looney inside of the hill, picking up kills. Just not a good break by TSM. This seems like a team that's just not on the same page right now.
Yeah, that break they tried to set up over near the top just seemed a little bit clunky. They were bumping into each other up top Mansion. They didn't really send anybody kind of from the bottom or around the back. As a Rise, they're going to be able to hold on. You got Looney inside the hard point. They're back up by 120 points. As TSM, they're starting to look further and further out of this game. Looney with a chance to go big there, but TSM start to break in, and as soon as that happens, Slack is here to clean up the rest of the kills, and Slack is taking over. 27 and 12, a minute and 24 inside the hard point.
Yeah, this one's just a blowout, Revan.
Yeah.
I mean, 210 to 79 at this moment in time. Every time TSM has tried to break the hill, it just hasn't been together. This is just textbook play by Rise here. And I mean, Looney's not even doing much of, I mean, he's doing well. I mean, 17-17, but like they haven't even needed like a full effort from the guys, it's felt like. And you see he's going to fly
might as well use my heat wave.
Yep. Pick up one after he pops his heat wave. Going to try and push out those snow cuts. It's going to be KILLCAM and Pruvy picking up some kills. Going to be TSM in control of the hill now, but they just need about a miracle to come back in this game.
I mean, of course, you know, if they win this current hard point, if they're able to, you know, kind of contest and kind of stop Rise from getting a good chunk of points on the next one and then win the rotation over towards Bunker, sure. There might be a small opportunity for TSM, but it's not looking good for them. They're down by well over 100 points. As Rise, as you said earlier, they are in complete control of this game.
And now you expect Rise to try and, you know, trap them over by this, you know, bunker side of the map, and then able to take control of this next hill. It's going to be Snow popping up now. It's going to be Rise controlling it early. Slack was on it for a quick second, then he jumps off it. Octane and Slack picks up some kills, but Pruvy and KILLCAM answer with kills for TSM, but it's going to be Rise in control of the hill. Looney down there alone. He's going to get challenged from Snow Cuts, but it's Octane in position to do lots of damage with his AR. Slack picks up 2 big kills. He's had a monster game 1.
Yeah, it's really the slang from TSM. You know, nobody positive for this team. The closest one is Wheats and Pruvy. Pruvy now even, but I mean, KILLCAM 17 and 29, not what you expect out of him.
No, no. You expect out of him the, you know, the numbers we've seen from the past few weeks, right? I think he's definitely a player who we can say is more of like a breakout player thus far. But when you put up those numbers consistently, that's what I think people are going to expect from you week by week. And that this one just not bringing it here early. If you're TSM, you got to rotate over towards Bunker. And
that might do it. They contest.
Nope, okay. They contest. They get it. And they're going to get control of Bunker, it looks like, as Prufy's over in the bunker actually picking up some kills. So TSM, obviously, you know, the guys on Rise only need 3 seconds. We see a heat wave come in there early. Pruvy still staying alive, though. See if Rise can break this, and it looks like it's going to get contested here. Nope. The Purifier coming in from Pac-Man, so it's going to be TSM able to hold on to Bunker. He's going to push out, doing nice work with that Purifier, but still, it's only 3 seconds for Rise Nation to win. This would be the best comeback of all time.
Oh, here comes Looney around the back. He's going to be able to break inside the hardpoint, finds one. His teammate's going to follow up as he turns around. Can't pick up the second kill. Slack falls shortly after, but It is such a tall order. 3 seconds is not a lot of time. They need to hold on to every single second here, stop Rise from breaking in, and then they need to find a way to win the rotation towards the middle and control that.
Yeah, and you're seeing Rise come in with a purifier of their own.
Oh, yeah.
Now you have players just flooding into the front of that hard point. Should be Rise able to win it 250-147. So TSM did a good job bringing it back towards the second half of that game. They just let Rise get away with a big lead there early.
Yeah, they were up by, what was it, like close to 120, 130 second margin. Just so tough to come back from a deficit like that. Long road ahead of TSM. They're unable to make it happen as Rise. They win map 1 very comfortably on the back of Slacked, who had an explosive game. Yeah,
we'll take a look at the scoreboard after this, but Slacked almost drops 40. A lot of players in the mid-30s for Rise Nation. You know, you're not going to win many games when there's a team slaying like that.
Yeah.
We can take a look at, obviously, TSM's scores, see what went wrong there. But just overall in the flow of the game, what do you think went wrong for TSM?
I mean, one, they weren't really holding on to the hard points. It seemed like Rise, once they set up to break, for the majority of the time in the hill, their first break broke the hard point, thinking back to kind of like that first bunker hard point. Then when it came down to TSM breaking the setup from Rise, I mean, I think that one kind of attempt on that mansion hardpoint really told the story. You got guys bumping into each other near top mansion. They send like one guy through the front, not really pinching from multiple angles. Tough for TSM to break in there.
Players just kind of like
team killing,
shooting each other with guns. Yeah, it's just not the way you would have expected it to go. So 39-22 from Slacked. Great game out of him. 1:45 in the hill, 10 defends. You saw some good stuff out of Octane and Classic as well. And then on the side for TSM, thought Weeds played pretty well. You know, 30-32, minute 25 in the hill. Proofy did some nice stuff in the slaying department. Yes, you're just looking at really KILLCAM. I mean, KILLCAM goes 22-35. Pac-Man struggles a little bit, 26-35 as well. Has 9 defends to his name, so picks up some kills in the hill. But this one was all Rise Nation.
Yeah, right from the get-go as well. I mean, they're just able to build a lead and then maintain it. Like, aside from like this one time, TSM were able to build like what was it, like a 20-point lead, and then Rise didn't look back after that. Once they took their first lead of the game, they just ran away with everything. I mean, they locked down the Rocks hard point perfectly. They're able to break into that bunker hard point and essentially split time with TSM on the first one, and then superb play from the entire Rise squad. Got to give up to Slacked. I mean, he just made so many plays happen.
Yeah, Slacked and Octane, I feel like, you know, the first two guys, I don't want to say first two guys on rotation all the time, but they were always there picking up some big kills. Yeah. Whenever, you know, the next hill was about to pop up or, you know, they were in the hill, I feel like those two guys did a great job in that first hard point. Going into the 100 S&D, it's one we've seen TSM win a few times. Are they able to pull this one out against Rise? So what do they have to do that?
I feel like this is one of Rise's like kind of best search and destroy maps. I feel like they play very well. They have a good kind of sense of timing on this map, and you know, they're really one of the first teams I saw using that ledge slide to kind of wall run into waterfall and attack that B bomb site. I feel like that's kind of their bread and butter play on this map. So honestly, this is a must win for TSM. I think Rise are just too good in the respawn game modes. It's going to be up to TSM to try and steal respawn, kind of like the story about H2K, but they need to find a way to win this S&D.
Obviously a much different team, but when I casted the uplink with Maven between these two teams, when TSM was question mark, this was a 30-1 Rise Nation win.
Yeah.
So I think this TSM team, obviously worlds different from that moment in time. They're much better than they were then, but obviously would not spell good things for them going into another respawn game mode, I would think. So this is the one I think that TSM needs to win to kind of make this series interesting. They do. They have the chance to force a Game 5. Don't think they win the uplink and the CTF, but who knows? We have seen wilder things, as we saw in the FaZe series. That comeback, man, that Game 5 still kind of
Luminosity. I mean, they let that slip. There's nothing more you could say about that. They had 3 rounds to play with before they were forced to close it out. I mean, they had a 3v1. They had multiple 2v1s. But now it's all about TSM versus Rise.
I mean, they lost a round where they had all their abilities as well. Yeah. That's kind of crazy. We're just waiting for the players to get started up. Everyone in the lobby. Who are you looking at on each side? Really come up big.
For TSM, I'm looking at Pac-Man. Pac-Man's been playing so well in the search and destroys for the side over on Rise. I think I'm going to be looking at probably someone like Slacked or Looney. I think these guys, they're kind of going to be leading the charge each time into the bomb site and getting a lot of first bloods for their team.
And you've teamed with, have you teamed with anyone in this lobby?
I've played a little bit with Slacked. I've played against Looney. I've played against Classic. I've played against Pac-Man. Played against. I
Who's the-
haven't teamed with anyone here.
Who's the toughest out of these players that you've played against in Search and Destroy?
In Search and Destroy,
Yeah.
I'd say honestly say Slacked.
Really? Why?
I just feel like sometimes he could get a bit unpredictable on the map. He's a tough player to track as well. He has really good movement, really good game sense as well, so he knows kind of where his timings are located and how he can push up on the map and exploit that.
Interesting. Interesting. Because I feel like, at least in the last few titles and whatnot we can get in the Ban and Protect, I feel like S&D has been the one game mode where you can say Slacked hasn't performed at his best.
I think the last time I played against Slacked was probably back in the Black Ops 2 kind of days. I'm not sure how often I played against him in Ghost, but he was a top performer when I was playing against him. Very solid player, but traditionally Proofy, okay at Search and Destroy. Definitely not his best game mode.
Proofy has his moments in S&D where he takes over games. Like when again, the timings are right for Proofy. Like he'll win those gun battles and he'll play great. It's just getting those consistent.
Yeah.
I thought he was very good during Ghost in Search and Destroy.
Oh, I'm thinking back to that X Games play, right?
Right. Yeah, that was one of the best plays we had all year during that one. You're going to see the SVG thermal rapid fire in stuns be the first things to go here. Anything stand out for you?
Nothing really. I mean, obviously the sniper's getting targeted here by both teams. The thermal sight could affect the assault rifles. If you're playing against Fizzerp, he likes to use that XR2 thermal.
So KILLCAM loves the SVG. He's very good with the Locust as well. Does not use thermal on it. So that is one thing that will separate the snipers on these teams. Obviously, Octane, the sniper for Rise Nation. KILLCAM, the sniper on the side of TSM. You're going to see kinetic armor go. Do we think there's action with overdrive here, overclock?
Well, you got to go after high caliber. Somebody's going to ban that one out.
And then the Shiva as well. You figure the Shiva has to go.
Shiva could have a big impact on this map. There's high caliber.
There goes high caliber.
KILLCAM goes
going to
after
get rid
the
of
Shiva.
Shiva. Interesting. So the Locust still in play.
Overkill.
Overkill still in play.
Overclock.
Yep. All of those good things still in the game. You're going to have Vision Pulse on the side of
Octane,
Rise Nation.
Octane always goes for Vision Pulse on this map.
Yep. And then on the side of TSM, you're going to have Heatwave in the hands of Wheats. Proofy going to go Vision Pulse. Classic going to go Heatwave. Now, Kinetic was gone. So you figure Looney and Slacked, one of them goes Overdrive, one of them goes Camo.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of what you figure. So Looney is going to go Overdrive. Pac-Man Overdrive as well. KILLCAM, you figure, goes Camo, and then Slack Camo as well.
Yeah, that's what we're expecting. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Overdrive, yep. And the top two are just kind of flipped out of order. So
mirror matchup here.
Yeah, mirror matchup. Nothing too crazy in the Ban and Protect. Who's the better sniper, KILLCAM or Octane?
I think KILLCAM, for sure.
Really?
I've seen a lot of kind of crazy snipes come out of KILLCAM. I think he's more of a flashier sniper than Octane as well.
And then how big of a difference, obviously, I played with a little bit at home, but you obviously at a higher level. SVG versus Locust. At a professional level, how big is the difference between the two sniper rifles?
It's definitely noticeable. Obviously, they're going to favor the SVG more just because you get less hit markers with it. It's more consistent with the kind of one bullet, one kill. The Locust, you really got to make sure you kind of hit them from like the chest area up. And sometimes, you only see like the ankles or the waist of a player, and sometimes it might just not be a kill with the Locust.
So interesting. So when you make that point, and you have a very good sniper, somebody like an Octane, somebody like an Attach or a KILLCAM, would you not get rid of the SVG and put the Locust in their hand because it makes it, I feel like a mediocre sniper can win some gunfights with a good sniper with the SVG because of the one bullet damage to pretty much anywhere. A mediocre sniper will not win those with a Locust, but a good sniper probably will. Do you think that's something that we could potentially see? More of the good snipers kind of ban the SVG and go with the Locust?
Sure, maybe even the PO6, we're seeing that get used more and more. Attach used it in the previous series. We saw Elevate. They went ahead as far as to protect it. So I think kind of players, they're realizing, okay, the SVG, it's becoming more of a common ban, especially in Search and Destroy. They kind of have to get used to another sniper, or at least be familiar with how to use it and how effective you could be with it. So sure, yeah, I think we might start to see, if the SVG keeps getting banned and banned and banned in every single Search and Destroy, they're kind of forced to use some other snipers.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And I think the Locust is definitely one that we've seen players, they've been like, oh, I know it's not as good, but we've seen some big plays with the Locust. Usually, the guys on TSM are one to protect the SVG to get into KILLCAM's hands, but this time goes early. We'll see how big of an impact that has on his sniper game. As Hunted S&D loading up now between TSM and Rise Nation. Rise Nation up 1-0 in the series. Who are we jumping on board with first, Rev?
It's going to be KILLCAM. Why? Well, I just wanted to see if he had a sniper, so he's going to be sticking with the M8 here. He's got...
That's what happened the last few times they played this when the SVG was not in play.
Okay. So Octane, I think, still goes with the sniper. Yeah, he's got the Locust in his back pocket. And he usually defends B all by himself, so this is definitely something that could be exploited. But it's going to be early A action from the guys over on TSM. Looney in a good position to spot this. Finds one, spots more as well. Gets the quick two-piece, does get traded out, but so much information gathered from Looney. A big opening play from him and Rise.
I mean, he just single-handedly stops the push. He single-handedly stops TSM's push. KILLCAM's able to pick up one. Classic.
Where'd he go?
Goes right over the top of one. He's going to have players directly to his left. He's not going to turn. He's going to get taken out by KILLCAM. So KILLCAM working on an ace here. Be quite odd if TSM was able to win this round. And you're going to see Octane sitting right on a bomb. These players coming directly underneath them. Are they going to wrap this one over towards B? That's what it looks like is going to happen here.
Octane needs to find a way to get information to spot this, I think.
At this point in time,
around the 20-second mark, you got to go.
Yeah, at this point, you have to know that it's going down over at B, and you're going to have to see Octane hightail it over towards that B bomb site. He's going to take that water out. See if he's able to catch one off guard here.
Well, both players from TSM just playing so close by. At least he'll have a SMG to work with here. Pops out of water. For sure, he needs to find a way to take down KILLCAM. Not going to happen. The ace from KILLCAM to open things up for TSM. Despite an early 2 kills from Looney on the side of Rise, it's going to be KILLCAM making big plays happen. And to think, he's around a second away from dying, as Classic was literally right next to him coming out of the hut. Fortunately, Classic just didn't find the opportunity to pick up the kill.
And with Looney getting 2 big kills there early, it's kind of crazy that TSM's able to turn that around all the way back in their favor. And you know, look how close KILLCAM is. The camo, look, he's got an HCXD already. As good a start as you could ask for TSM.
Yeah, I'm going to be sticking with KILLCAM here just to see if he can make any more plays happen. It's going to be TSM with a bit more of a heavy A defense. As they're coming up the middle of the map, it's going to be Weeds just trying to find some outproof. He opens things up with the grenade as he takes down a Looney. The bomb is also dropped with that, and now Weeds. This has opened up the map for him to kind of push up. As Classic in a big gunfight, he does get the trade kill, but coming around the flank, it's the rest of the TSM players.
Do you think TSM knows bombs down?
I think they do.
I think Weeds keeps looking over towards it. The players are kind of just huddled around it. I think they have to have some idea that they've killed a bomb carrier.
Yeah, I think that's the reason they're maybe not pinching here. I mean, Weeds is pretty much looking right at it, but as Classic pushes up the map, he will be able to at least touch it. He's going to get shot in the back, though. Weeds picking up the kill. Slack now in a position maybe to trade, but doesn't find the opportunity to get the kill.
It's a really nice play by TSM here. Round number 2. This be a great lead for them. Slack's actually able to pick up 1. Octane's actually going to get the bomb. He's going to pick this one up and just bring it over towards B. Does KILLCAM see them cross? He definitely did, I think. And he's going to be very close to camo here soon. Wheat's going to actually let them get the bomb down over at B.
This is so tough for Rise. Yeah, they're punching in at the same time.
Yeah, and Wheat's able to pick up 1 on bomb. Doesn't get on it right away. You can have Slack playing inside of water, and obviously if he knew the timings, he'd be able to just jump out and kill Wheats and then get away. But Wheat's able to win the gunfight. He's going to defuse the bomb.
Yeah, they're both equal away, and
yep.
you let Wheats get closer to the heat wave, okay, or not?
Did they find... Oh, no. Yeah, that would make a little bit more sense, right?
Because he already has this camo. They're both equal amount. Okay, it's going to be the dart versus the lightning.
Yeah. So I guess you're a little bit further away. So you're going to let KILLCAM get that bomb defused. It's going to be TSM up 2-0.
All right. And here we're going to see Wheats in the round ending KILLCAM as he closes it out on Slack. I think Slack maybe shot a bit prematurely here with the RK5. Gives Wheats time to just turn around. And, you know, TSM, they're off to a strong start here. But Rise, now they're going to start to adapt and maybe change up their play to adjust for what TSM are doing.
We'll see TSM on offense. This one looks like it's going to be pretty standard push over towards B. They're actually going to let KILLCAM peek this first with camo. Pac-Man's going to get first blood on Classic. You see one player playing a little bit further away.
Kill the trophy.
Yep, going to kill the trophy. Now they should be able to try to get the bomb down. It looks like it's going to be Wheats sitting right on top of B. Look at this Looney on a long flank.
Along with Pac-Man as well.
Could potentially cause some problems here.
Spots one inside the water. He's going to see them on the bomb site as well as Looney drops. We're going to switch over to Pac-Man because he's going on the long flank as he's looking to close out the round early here. He's coming up behind one Rise player. Takes down Octane with ease as Proofy finds the final kill on the Slack. TSM cruising to 3-0 lead.
They look good in S&D. I mean, S&D has not been their weakness, but this is a team in Rise that you thought was be pretty good at this map, and they are just abusing them here early up 3-0. I mean, you still have, I believe, KILLCAM working on streaks. Does he drop that round? So he's still, actually, no, he does drop that round.
Dart? He did get the dart.
So he did get the dart, though, okay? And then you have Wheats still working on streaks as well. He's 300 from a landing.
All right, so Rise Nation, they got to start stringing some rounds together if they want to weigh into this map. And Octane 0-3 start for him, a little bit rough. Let's see if he can turn things around here as it's going to be a B bomb site attack for the guys on Rise. And this is what I was talking about, that wall run along the waterfall. They get early position as Looney gearing up for a late flank.
And they're going to be able to get the bomb down at B right away. So this is kind of what you expected Rise to do consistently.
Oh, if he would have just checked this flank.
Oh, and he's actually going to go right by one of the players. You're going to have Classic playing inside of water. Now, TSM taking a lot of time here. 30 seconds left on that bomb, but nobody has dropped yet from either side.
Yeah, and you know, the closer it gets to detonation, of course, the more it's going to favor the guys over on Rise. They just need to hold on for a couple more seconds. TSM, they need to pick up the pace. They're starting to run out of time. Only 15 seconds remaining on the bomb timer. They still need to pick up some kills as Wheats just goes ahead and cannonballs right on in, doesn't find the kill, and there's just not enough time in this round. Even if they pick up the final players on the side of Rise. Pac-Man just trying to clean it up. Might destroy these trophies as well just to get as much score as he can, but the bomb will blow up. As a Classic, well, he dies from the bomb detonation. Pac-Man does escape with his life, but Rise, they get the round win as they bring it to within 2. TSM still up 3-1 though.
And I like that round from Rise. That's the kind of play you'd like to see them do more often. See Slack here in the final KILLCAM wins that one versus KILLCAM. How close is Pac-Man to streaks? I believe he was
pretty
25
close,
or 50. I don't know if it's to an HC or better. Let's take a look on with
I think it's HC.
Pac-Man. So yeah, it is to an HC.
But he's also dangerously close to that overdrive as well. So that's really something that Pac-Man could have a big play happen off the back of an overdrive.
We'll see KILLCAM get up on a waterfall. He's going to challenge one gunfight in the middle of the map. Wins it easy against Classic. You see Wheats win a gunfight against Looney as well. So 2 really quick kills in favor of TSM. So they're going to be able to get into the A-bomb site.
Yep, Slacked could have wall ran. Octane might find one player over near the back patio here. Yes, he does. So that's going to be an easy kill for Rise. Manageable position now. Never mind, as Slacked falls, it's down to a 1-on-3, all up to Octane. With 30 seconds remaining, he does find one over near the red truck. Lays down some good shots, but Wheats with the VMP will take him down. TSM go back up by 3 rounds, as they're only 2 away from closing out this second map.
What is Rise has not done well here on the defensive side? They haven't
traded kills.
I feel like it's been some good strats from TSM as well. I feel like they put themselves in some pretty good positions to win some offensive rounds.
But I mean, KILLCAM just jumps up on the waterfall. He outguns that player mid, and nobody there for Rise to trade the kill. You know, every time you allow the other team to get first blood and get away without a kill being traded, you're just putting them in a better position to win the round.
We'll see Looney getting up on waterfall. He's going to get into water. Looks like he's going to try and push this one over towards the middle of the map. There's actually the player controlling the HC back here. He's not able to win that one gunfight. Pac-Man and Proofy both
2
winning.
kills, no one there to trade.
Yep. And then Pac-Man able to win a gunfight versus Slack. It's going to be Classic, the only one alive. He's going to drop 5-1 in favor to TSM, dominating Rise Nation here in the Search and Destroy.
Yeah, it's aside from that first round where Rise, they kind of choked that after Looney gets the first 2 kills. It's not really been too close. TSM starting to run away with this one. They're showing some signs of life, and this is what we needed from TSM. We kind of expected this is going to be sort of like a must-win map for them, as they're still trying to find a way to seal a respawn. Pac-Man is going to pop his overdrive, but take a look at some of these score lines. KILLCAM 8-2, 6-1 for Wheat, 6-2 for Pac-Man.
Yeah, nothing good on the side of Rise. And then you got Slacked at 4 and 6, Classic at 1 and 5. And it's going to be TSM in control of that A bomb site yet again. You see the guys on Rise have kind of stacked up over on B and then coming on the flank. This would be a big round for them if they're able to win it. Obviously, you still have Kolchan with the dart, but we have seen crazy comebacks, obviously, and you're going to see 2 players go down for TSM. So Rise looking like they could potentially steal this round.
Yeah, now it's going to be Wheats. He'll be able to get the bomb down. Surprised they didn't do it a little bit earlier because Pac-Man cleared out this entire area with his H60, but now it gets planted. Heatwave available for Wheats as he outguns Looney right there. So down to a 3-on-2, but TSM, they got to find their way back into the bomb site. As Rise currently control that area.
Wheats at 7-1 has just played very well. And look at this, he can come in here and Heatwave. Oh, didn't need to shoot right there. Kind of gave away his position now.
And he's being hunted.
Yep. He would have been able to just go in there and Heatwave if he didn't actually shoot there early. Going to be Octane defusing that bomb.
If you actually plant the bomb on like the front side of the site facing that back door,
he would have been in a great spot.
Yeah, you could kind of hang out at that one Jeep under the bridge.
Yeah.
And you could get a clear line of sight on anybody that's defusing the bomb.
Oh, interesting.
So that's just some good post-plant positioning. Like right behind Octane right here.
Yeah.
You could just hang out at that Jeep and you could just thrust up or even stand still and you could see if somebody touches the bomb.
Ah, it's a pretty good spot.
Yeah.
Did not know you can sit there and watch the bomb. Anyway, it's going to be Rise and Nation still with their backs against the wall. Do they use overdrive here? It looks like going to see it going over towards B.
Yeah, you got to use some of these specialist abilities.
He's going to hit waterfall. He gets a little bit slowed there, but...
And they should immediately go for the plant as soon as he gets in here.
Oh, without a doubt.
Even though he kind of botches the slide, doesn't matter in the end. He's going to decide to push all the way through, but we just watching this. Goes for the challenge, a little bit ambitious from Looney, but Heatwave actually gets popped by that player.
Oh, why would he use Heatwave?
Felt like he was getting pressured, panic popped that. Looney, I really think he should back up here. I think he's overstayed his welcome.
I don't think this is a good spot from Looney as well.
He's going to continue to challenge as he's just looking for this player. Proof he finds one, takes down Octane. Looney, he falls shortly after, as now it's down to Classic and Slack. Slack does have camo, though.
I don't understand that play by
He's got to use
Looney.
camo here.
You're going to use camo middle of the map. He's going to drop. Don't understand why they were challenging right away.
I thought Looney really should have just backed up, have those players be paranoid, checking around the corner, help your teammates out over near the bomb site. I mean, fighting an AR with so much position and so much air to work with back there, really not going to kind of work out. As Slack T got caught out of position here by Kolchan, even though he pops the camo. Kolchan has eyeballs. He could see that as TSM cruised to a map 2 victory.
Not even close. Not even close. TSM wins that one 6-2 against Rise Nation, our second map here, the last match of the night. Obviously, the next one's going to be evac uplink.
Yeah.
But what really stood out for you in the search and destroy on the side of TSM that really kind of propelled them to a win?
Well, one, they were all working together. They were able to trade out kills if anybody died. They had good set strategies to kind of attack around the map and exploit the holes in Rise's kind of defensive setup. And the one thing I saw from Rise is they really just weren't trading kills at all. Each and every round, TSM were able to get first blood. That player is then able to get out with their live, fall back to their teammates, and then you're fighting 4-on-3. You have the man advantage to whatever bomb site you go to.
And then for the side of Rise, you say not trading kills effectively. Is that just their positioning on the map on the offensive and defensive side of things? Is that a teamwork issue? What's the deal with that?
It's a little bit of both. So they're set up mainly like you have one guy kind of isolated over near the middle of the map. And that one round specifically, Kolchan just kind of thrusts up on the waterfall. He wins the gunfight middle map, gets out with his life, not even being traded out. Like, that's a kill you can't let happen.
Yeah, without a doubt. And you have Kolchan going 9-3, Wheats 8-2, Pac-Man 7-3, more strong S&Ds out of him. Nobody with anything worth talking about on the side of Rise Nation. Nobody really stood out whatsoever. 4 kills for Slack, 3 for the rest of the guys. Expect them to bounce back in the respawn game mode, so.
Yep, but, we're moving into uplink, as you were saying. This is probably Rise's best game mode from what I've seen from them. So I think it's going to be a tough test for TSM, but kind of like the same dialogue we have about H2K. How can TSM steal a respawn against this Rise Nation squad? It's going to be tough, and this is what I'm talking about right here. You see that gunfight win from Kolchan middle map. And then it seemed like Rise, because they were just unable to open things up with first blood, they're always fighting from a deficit. Like in each round, it's down to like a 1vX situation, which you're unable to clutch up in.
I tell you what, I think if Rise wins that first map, if that one goes their way, the first round, if it goes their way, because you saw Looney pick up 2 big kills, and then they just kind of falls apart. If they win that first one, I think it might be a completely different map.
You think they went on tilt after losing that first round?
I think a little bit of panic started to set in. You know, KILLCAM picks up like an ace round 1, and then things start to spiral a little bit out of control. I think that's one that if Rise wins that round, I definitely think it's a map that they have the chance to take.
Okay, I could definitely see where you're coming from there. Now moving into the protect and bans process for this upcoming map, it's going to be evac uplink. I think we could see some usual suspects get banned out here as the Shiva. That's going to open things up from Looney. Expect to see a high caliber, rapid fire. Camo will actually get banned out here from KILLCAM.
Interesting to see Camo go that early. You know, we usually see it go in uplink games, but usually towards the later half of the ban and protect, you're going to have high caliber go here. Expect rapid fire to go at some point during this one. Stuns, flashes as well. I think overdrive, I don't know if it's actually that powerful on uplink on evac. I think if this was like uplink fringe, I think definitely we see overdrive gone. I think it's definitely one that could potentially make it in. And what's interesting is it Rise a team that, you know, a lot of these teams, you know, they'll get rid of overclock. Some of them are willing to keep it in. Is Rise a team that's willing to keep overclock in?
Yeah, they love overclock.
They don't mind it.
They love using overclock just because they're a pretty slay-heavy team, you know, so they're going to be earning their abilities and their weapons a little bit quicker and more often than their opponents.
Right, I think you're a team like Optic, or if you're a team like
Rise,
there is no reason to ban overclock during one of those games.
I agree.
I'm waiting for a team to protect it.
Is it worth a protect?
It might be. It might be, in the sense
Convince me.
If you're a team like an Optic or a Rise that's going to get 4 or 5 abilities in a hardpoint game for each of your players, why wouldn't you?
I think the proper response to seeing an overclock protect is perk 1 greed ban. And then what do? You still run overclock?
I think so.
Over something like an Afterburner or Flak Jacket?
On a map like Stronghold, is Afterburner that powerful?
I think so. I think you just cover so much ground, especially when it comes down to rotation and setting up to break inside the hard point. It's definitely tough, and it's a fun conversation to have because we could definitely think of so many situations where you'd prefer one over the other.
Yeah, I mean...
I think if you control spawns, use overclock. If you don't have control of the spawns, you got to use Afterburner. I
definitely think overclock would be viable over Afterburner. If there's no perk 1 greed, they're both in. I think you can definitely run overclock. I definitely think you can. Now, let us know. You guys can tweet us at MattMrX, at RevanJB, what you guys think. But personally, I think you can definitely run overclock over Afterburner if you are going to be a slay-heavy team in like a respawn game mode. We can actually take a look at the specials real quick. We'll actually walk through them. Looney goes Heatwave, Kinetic Armor from Slacked.
Another
Scythe
Tempest.
of Octane, we see Classic with the Tempest. And then on the side of TSM, you see Kinetic, Heatwave, that's KILLCAM and Wheats. Then you got Proofy with a Scythe and Pac-Man with an Annihilator. So Annihilator versus Tempest yet again.
I'm starting to like the Tempest more and more that I'm seeing players use it, especially the Clacer play we saw in the previous series. I think some teams might start leaning a little bit more towards the Tempest.
A slower player with a weapon would go towards like an Annihilator.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to be a post-up guy, like an AR, like the players we've seen do some nice stuff with it. We've seen them be mostly standstill, like AR type of players. Players going to play a little bit slower. The Tempest, I feel like it's something you can just move around the map, flow around the map, and pick up some nice kills.
Okay. I agree with you on that one. Well, we're taking a look at evac. We said it before, but we'll say it again. Everybody kind of knows how this map is played. You know the setup, you know the spawns. You obviously want to spawn trap the opposing team to kind of get that scoring train going, but we're starting to see some more one-point tosses come into play. Of course, you see the most common ones kind of over the corners on the buildings on each side, but you know that kind of like mid-building toss up through the window that you saw earlier in the day, and then of course you could set up over near your kitchen as well as the vents on each team's respective sides to get those one-point tosses in.
Now, who do you think wins this one, Revan?
Rise.
Yeah? You think it's a big win, or you think it's something that it's a...
I think it's a big win. Uplink seems to be their best game mode. They're obviously a respawn favored team, but they're looking like one of the best teams I've seen in the game when it comes down to this game mode.
Without a doubt. And I want to see Octane off the start of this one, if we don't mind. I think a guy who can really take control of that drone respawn. And he is not afraid to use some of these different assault rifles.
Man, I hate the ICR. I've been on that dark matter grind, man. The ICR is not my favorite weapon.
And why is that? I
feel like it's a little weak.
I personally like the ICR is that it can shoot long range. It's pretty effective, and it can just kind of shoot like a laser. There's not really a ton of recoil on it.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit about the ACR from Modern Warfare 2, except it's a lot weaker. Obviously, it's very accurate, and that's where I think Octane might be trying to use it for, is for its long-range kind of accuracy, but I just feel like it needs that kind of extra oomph when it comes to damage. Feels a little slow for my liking.
So would you rather have a Man of War? I think
Yeah.
the Man of War just shoots a little bit slower, but I think they kind of get the same job done in the sense that both obviously automatic assault rifles. As we see Looney going for a one-point play, gonna connect Rise Nation on the board here early.
That's something that makes Rise such a dangerous team, is because they always hit their one-point shots. Like, you can clearly see that they put in the time and they know how to hit those one-point shots. As Classic picks up 2 from the back, it's gonna be Octane there to clear up the third. And every time they go for a push with the drone, they make sure they have somebody pushed up in the lane to make sure it's safe for their drone carrier to go.
And this one looks like it's actually going to be a 2. Looney actually gets EMP'd, but he's going to be able to jump this one home. It's going to be a 3-0 lead from the disadvantageous side here for Rise Nation. Not a good start for TSM. And you just see Octane. Oh, he plays at this position, and then he moves up to the tree. As soon as they lose control, he comes back here.
Yeah, and that's because you got players like Looney and Slack who can push out the lane, and Octane's just comfortably able to, set up house and just maintain control of that area. It's going to be Classic. Slack has already pushed up the lane. This is going to be another dunk from Rise, as they're off to a pretty good start here in uplane.
It's a pretty good start. I think this is probably one of the better sides we've seen from the disadvantageous side. We talked about it before. The last time these teams met up in uplink, it was 30-1 on Fringe in favor of Rise Nation. Do not think we see anything along that stretch of the imagination. Obviously, TSM is a much different team at this moment in time. Much better. The teamwork's there.
Nice.
They're communicating well. Classic picks up 2, though, with the Man of War. Makes it a 3rd. This guy just churning through people as it's going to be another one-point play. He's going to, I thought he was going to be able to get around the corner, but now you see Octane coming in, putting pressure on the TSM spawn.
Yeah, Octane had that Man of War in his hands. As now Looney picks up the neutral drone. He's got Slack to escort him. Slack falls. Looney might die shortly after, as Pac-Man right behind him. Looks like he was maybe gearing up for the wall run, but this is going to give TSM a little bit of an opportunity.
Classic actually picks up the drone, so he's actually got it on the outer wall run. He actually melees somebody during it. Not able to get it off. Does it stay on the map? No, goes off the map. That would have been one of the crazier plays we've seen in uplink with a melee to a toss in. That would have been wild, but it's going to be TSM with Wheat pushing through the drone, trying to get control. Looks like they have 3 players over on drone spawn. Should be able to pick this one up here, trying to make a play.
It. This might be one of the first touches I've seen TSM have. It's like the very beginning of the game.
Yeah, no, have not touched the drone in a very long time. You're going to see Slack pick up 1, Classic with another. Doesn't look like we're going to see TSM make anything happen with the drone here. It's going to be Kolchan diving down into the water. He's taken out. Players dropping for TSM like crazy. It's going to be Proofy, the only one alive, picking up some nice kills at range, but the drone going to be brought back towards the middle of the map.
And the reason they decided to wrap it is because Looney has this position over near Kitchen. It's going to be easy toss here from Classic as he lines it up, lets it fly, hits the one-point toss as Rise continue to build their lead. And, where's Octane? He's controlling the neutral zone area, covering glass, stopping TSM from being able to push up. As he picks up, he's going to regroup with his teammates and set up a good push going over towards the other side of the map.
He's going to bring this one all the way over towards apartments. You're going to see Octane get up top, Slack coming up from below, and it's going to have Octane in a nice position to get a one-point throw. Going to connect with it from Kitchen. So very nice play there by Rise, able to convert that into a one-point throw. You talked about they don't miss their ones. You see a perfect example of it there.
Yeah, they practice their free throws. Kolchan trying to slay ahead of his drone carrier. It's going to be Pac-Man. Opportunity to score here for TSM as Pac-Man connects. He also has his Annihilator to use. Maybe not going to pull it out here as there's less than 30 seconds remaining. Kolchan picks up the neutral drone, has kinetic armor, goes for the long toss. As it gets picked up by Looney, but I think it was a little too far away to sink that.
Look at where the spawns are coming in for the guys on TSM. It's Looney bringing this one down all the way the left-hand side. Going to go on wall run with it. He's going to have one player here. Should actually meet him, and actually he's going to go to the backside of it. Is this player directly next to him? Going to get a one-point throw with 4 seconds left. Big play there by Looney to answer back. You see Octane just picking up some kills for fun in the TSM base. It's going to be a 9-1 Rise Nation lead going into the second half.
Yeah, that's a pretty comfortable lead, I'd say, here on uplink evac, and just superb play from Rise. I mean,
Nice little three-piece in the kill cam here from Octane.
yeah, like I was saying, every time they get a push going, before they even get control of the drone and start to push it forward, they have somebody that's already cleared out the lane that they're going to push, right? So they have that kind of forward position to work with, and it just aids that drone carrier so much. They feel so safe. They don't have to worry about anybody, you know, shooting them from the sides. And I think that's a big reason why they're able to knock down those one-point tosses, because they have kind of all the time in the world to set that up.
You're going to see Octane bring the scythe out here early. It's going to be Wheats, the last one alive for TSM. Players all converging on him, and Octane's able to stay alive with the scythe. They're going to bring this one up the map. Classic getting control of the TSM base, and this is not a good start. You see how far away TSM spawning all the way over by Vents.
He better get this Wraith.
Octane 75 away from the Wraith. They're actually going to give him this top spot over on ACs. 25 points away. Do they just 75 points away? Sorry, they're going to toss him
the drone.
Yeah, why not toss him the drone anyway? It's going to be run in by Looney.
You're stealing his points, man.
Yeah, you would have liked to see them actually just give him the drone, and he's able to get this. He looks like he's going to be cut down from the left-hand side. Right there. I mean, all Rise has to do is just toss him the drone top AC. He throws it in. It's the same thing as Looney just kind of going in. Very odd right there from Rise.
Yeah, I think Octane is actually the player I see the most get so close to the Wraith, and then he dies like a couple points short. It is unfortunate for him. Yeah.
No, in the slaying department, they are just running through them right now.
Looney
Minus Looney. Looney's only got 4 kills. It doesn't even matter. They're still at 12-1. Go on board with Looney, see what's going on with him. He's able to pick up one mid-map, but it gets quickly traded out. You're going to have Classic, Slacked actually, heading up towards the mid-map. He's going to go off with a one-point throw, not able to connect with it. The drone going to be all the way in the back of TSM's base.
They're human.
They have to wrap it out of here. I mean, they can't just afford to reset this one. Fantastic wall running right there by Classic. Able to pick up the drone carrier. So the drone down over on Vents, and it actually is all dead as KILLCAM falls off the map. Players going to be spawning in the back. Classic trying to get them out of there. And you're going to see a 2-point attempt there by Octane. He's able to get one. Heatwave just running around a double nade here from Slack. Oh, man, this is a crazy uplink game that is just kind of... TSM has lost all control. I mean,
yeah,
they haven't. I mean, when I say they've lost all control, they've had no control. But
yeah,
at the same time, this is just craziness. I feel like almost there's like no flow to the game because TSM just has to just do anything to try and make a comeback. That we're just seeing craziness happen. I mean, what we just saw a Hellstorm drop down by a teammate onto another teammate. Let's go on with Classic. See what the Tempest he can do.
Yeah, we've got one player next to him. Zach.
I think we're gonna see more players use the Tempest, man. This thing. Just I feel like it connects all the time. Look at this.
Just doesn't miss. Even going to shoot the HC, get some help from his teammate there to blow it up. Going to find maybe another one here. He finally gets cleaned up, but 2 kills is still pretty good. I mean, you think of the Annihilator, like what's the Annihilator good for? Maybe like 2 kills as well as 3 go down once again for TSM. Looney's going to go ahead and push out this lane while Octane picks up the drone. Looking like they're going to gear up for another dunk, but he gets taken out just short of that goal as TSM, they're just fighting from their base all game long. As you're saying, they've had no control over the map.
Look at the movement by Classic.
A field day over here.
Just running around through players and just making it look easy. 26 and 15 at this moment in time. I mean, they may win this one, and Looney's going to finish like something like 12 and 20 something. And you know, he's had a pretty good series, but they expect Looney to play a little bit better in respawn game. I don't think it even matters, as he's kind of like.
Oh, they might be able to get another point. Nope.
Nope. Bounces right back towards him, and Slack's going to be there to pick up that drone here any second. They might be able to even run this one mid-map. You see Looney picking up a big kill. Not able to win that second engagement. And drone just going to stay down on the Rise side of the map. So they're going to opt not to pick it up, it looks like. Just kind of wait for it to spawn again.
Yeah, Octane with the lightning strike, picking up 3 there.
It's all 4 dead.
Yeah. Not looking good for TSM. There's no way they could come back into this game. 1-point toss from Octane connects. He's got the mana bore out, putting pressure onto the TSM spawns as this one has been over for a long time now. Classic, really the MVP there. 29 and 17.
Yeah, and Looney, he's 11 and 22, but he's got 2 carries to the drone into the goal and 2 throws, so I'm responsible for 6 points.
Nice.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there are only so many kills you could get on the map, especially when you're blowing the team out this bad. It's all right. You don't need all the slaying in the world.
Wheat's going to have the drone for TSM. He's going to be able to put in a 1-point throw. You're going to see Heatwave go down in the
Small
spawn
victory
of
for
Rise.
TSM.
Yep. Looney putting down some shots. Player actually escapes over on that back wall run. He's able to win the second one. TSM puts in another 1-point throw. Just
they've increased their score 200% in the last
quite frankly,
20 seconds.
I mean, those 2 points really don't matter. As it's going to be Rise Nation winning this one 14-3, a game that, you know, it might be even more lopsided than the score kind of says, to be honest.
Yeah, Rise, they had complete control of the game once again. Another respawn that Rise take over TSM that, quite frankly, it just looked one-sided, at least from my point of view. Rise, they outslayed their opponents, they outscored their opponents. TSM, aside from those last 20 seconds, they had absolutely no map control whatsoever.
And I mean, you know, KILLCAM goes 17-25. Not another good respawn game from him.
Okay.
We saw that in the hard point. But Wheats goes positive, Proofy goes positive, and Pac-Man goes 21-27. Those like aren't awful numbers.
No,
they're
but
just never near the drone. They're never set up.
You look at where they're getting kills clearing out their base. After Rise have already scored, after they've already established control over the TSM spawn points. Sure, at TSM, you could pick up a couple kills, rotate back, control your base for a short amount of time. But then the next Rise push comes, they clear out the base once again, and they get more points.
And we've seen TSM play much better over the last few weeks, but this is a team that looks like an 8s team right now.
It's rough. You are going up against one of the best teams without a doubt in the game. And this is their best game mode, and they showed you why right there. But now we're moving into CTF. Is there a way TSM can take this from Rise?
I mean, just slow the pace down. I think that's their best chance. TSM, you know, the last few weeks, as we kind of keep talking about, you know, we've seen some good performances out of them, obviously. You know, we've seen them come up with big games. Game 2, they dominated. Just the respawn game mode, they just don't look to really have that good teamwork right now. That's really been the difference. I think they're just... Obviously, you know, they're picking up some kills. They're not able to get the positioning they need the way after those kills, and just they're not converting them into, you know, points and wins. And that's I don't want to say it's like frightening to watch, like as if you're a fan of the team, but
it's just something to work on, something that they need to improve upon,
without a doubt.
And it's not like they're kind of in relegation just yet. They're still a team that's kind of on the bubble.
No, they would. I believe they would make the playoffs right now.
That's
I believe they're in 8th or 9th. I believe they're like right there.
Yeah, so
well, I'll take a look at the standings after today.
They do need some wins, but they still have some time to go. I mean, we still have like a few weeks left, but it's starting to get to that crunch time where, you know, if you start winning now, if you surge late in the stage 1, you could save yourself from relegation.
Oh, without a doubt. I believe 4 weeks left. We have 4 weeks left. So still a ton of time left. Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, I believe is 4 weeks left. This week 7, yeah, week 11. So, yep. And game getting started now. Anything we see different here in the ban and protect for CTF?
We'll see. So I think the usual suspects once again. I mean, we haven't really seen anything too crazy.
For me, it's got to be high caliber, rapid fire. I think overdrive. Did not think a scythe would be the first thing gone. So they want to get that out of Octane's hands. You see the smoke goes on the side of Classic. So I would have been completely wrong, because these are two that I did not would not have guessed in my ban and protect. Rapid fire goes.
So because there's no scythe,
close to follow. Yep.
No scythe opens up the Tempest, opens up the Sparrow, the Annihilator.
You know, KILLCAM was very good with the Sparrow around the qualifier. Yeah. Have not seen it since, so potentially something like that. Then you see Overclock go.
Overdrive, probably.
Well, you think these last two? I mean, Overdrive's got to be 1, right?
Concussion Flashbangs.
Concussion Flash still make it in. Overdrive possibly makes it in. Flashes go from the side of Looney, so it's an afterburner go.
Overdrive makes it through?
Overdrive and stuns both make it through. I think Rise is just not... They're not afraid to play with any specialists or anything. It doesn't really matter to them, I don't think.
Yeah, I think for the most part, Rise are feeling very confident in the respawn game modes against these guys, as they'll start picking their specialist abilities. Kinetic Armor gets picked up by KILLCAM. The Tempest from Octane, that'll be the weapon of choice. Now, with no Scythe, do you maybe stick to like a 3 abilities to 1 weapon? Do you split 2-2?
What else? I mean, Looney.
I think you gotta go 3-1 because Overdrive.
Annihilate. No, Looney's gonna go Overdrive. Yeah. Who runs the weapon for
TSM? Proofy.
What is he gonna run? Annihilator.
Annihilator.
It makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah.
Yep. Proofy goes Annihilator. Overdrive from Looney. So, kind of rounds out exactly how we predicted Who got the advantage there?
It's hard to say because, you know, we saw it's in the, what was it, the previous series where Overdrive made it through the CTF? You saw how crazily that changed the pace of the game, and you know, LG were able to make a couple plays off of that. But we'll see, man. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I think just because it's a respawn game mode, tough to bet against Rise here. And TSM, I think this is probably their best opportunity to steal a respawn. Well, it's their only opportunity left, but they just need to find a way.
I think Rise gets first cap. It kind of spirals out of control for TSM. At least personally, that's how I feel going into this CTF. But guys, one more Twitter question for you guys on the night out there. Who is your standout player of the night?
Oh,
share your thoughts with us. Hashtag CWLPS4. Get involved on social media. Tweet as much as you want.
Attach?
You know, it might be Attach. It very well might be Attach. I think Attach probably played the best in the matches that we saw today.
I'm going with Attach. Attach is my vote.
I would say Attach. Attach played very good.
All right.
I mean, in this series, do you see anybody? I mean, maybe. Well, no. Rise got dominated so bad in the S&D. I don't even want to see anybody from Rise.
Yeah, maybe you could throw Slacked up there. Slacked has been playing very well the respawns, but because they got beat down in that search and destroy,
Attach in a game 5 made like the biggest plays and make an insane comeback. I think it's got to be
And the respawns as well, he went off. So Attach gets my vote, but curious to see what the good old folks on Twitter have to say. Always reading my tweets and my mentions. Curious to see who you guys think has been the standout player, but teams just kind of finishing up adding their score streaks and whatnot. The Scythe getting banned out, man. It's not the first time we've seen it happen, but it's just so rare. And, you know, I was kind of thinking in the previous series, do you ever think it's worth protecting a specialist? Is it worth one?
I don't
think so either. But it was just something I was thinking.
I think there's so many other things you can fall back on.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's worth spending a vote on how to on a specialist ability or weapon. One thing I was going to ask you, Revan, going into this one, is there any side that you would prefer over another?
I like pulling when the flag is at barn. I just feel like as soon as you grab that flag, you could just slide into barn and then you immediately have cover. Although on the opposite side, you do have grandmas, but I feel like barn offers you kind of like a clear path to kind of tracks.
Yeah, I think as well, if you can get down tracks, I think it definitely gives you the best opportunity to score a flag. Go on board here with Looney first, and we'll have to take an eye on both players with Overdrive. I'll actually just kind of keep up with Wheats for TSM, and we'll always kind of be on board with him, see when he gets Overdrive, see if he's in position to make a play. But it's 3 dead right at the start for TSM. You see the pressure coming over towards tracks. It's going to be Proof looking at players coming towards him. He's able to get one, not going to get a second one. It's classic. With some help from Octane now.
Back to the ICR.
Yep. Trying to get control of the TSM base.
Get back and play.
Oh, just trying to sneak around the outside. Not able to make that one work. So good start for the guys on Rise. Pretty nice hold there at TSM. Nothing too interesting there early.
Right, so because Rise won that break, they're able to establish themselves over near the middle of the map, and now they're starting to fall, so TSM can push up, establish some map control. That's usually how CTF works. You need to get kills in waves, right? You need to kind of, you get the first wave of kills off the break,
you move up
push
a little
take
bit.
Middle map. You get another wave, okay, you get control of their base. You get another wave of kills, you can pull the flag, maybe get a cap from there.
There's one player actually going on the Looney. This is Looney, so he's going to have one player over at White Truck.
Oh, this is clean.
If his teammate...
He should wait?
He should wait. Okay, so in that situation, at least I know what I was going to say. Yeah, no, he should not challenge this whatsoever.
Get out of there.
No,
this is he's so lucky?
Yeah, he needs to somehow get in the bricks.
Nice.
He's going to be able to get in there.
Sweet.
Fantastic flag run by Looney. Should be able to bring it home. And I know, at least personally for me, I would like to see him wait for his teammates to pick up some kills before grabbing the flag, because then it makes it a lot easier, because then it forces the remaining players on TSM to decide, you know, whether we turn around and try and get the flag eye or worry about the players directly in front of him. He's going to lose a gunfight as Proofy gets right up next to him, and he's going to be able to get the flag into Barn.
Yeah, because Proofy has a teammate Barn, that's where he's going to be running it, but Slacked is certainly in a position to at least slow this push down, puts in some shots, but it's going to be Proofy winning that fight. Now Proofy's earning his way over towards that lightning strike.
He's going really slow with this flag, though. He needs to be much faster with that. Classic gets over there and returns it. I mean, he had teammate support. There were players dead. He needed to just be faster with the flag.
Yeah, I can agree with you there. I think he was just kind of scared.
Yeah,
I think maybe it's a little bit up to KILLCAM as well to be a bit more proactive with helping him out. I don't know.
And you got Wheats set up in barn. He actually has overdrive as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on him as he picks up 1 kill all the way in the back.
Okay, and TSM, they do pick up the kill over at their flag. 3 go down for Rise. Slack left on the defensive end. There's 1 player near back barn. Solid kill from Slack. Nice 1 burst as he takes down Wheats. It's going to be Looney, the player with overdrive for Rise. So if he's able to get another flag in his hands, well, he's going to be out of there like the Flash.
Yeah, and I think if you are Looney and you can get on the overextension and you can pull one of these flags, obviously, if your teammate picks up some kills, then you pop the overdrive and it should be an easy score.
All right, so Looney, he gets taken down, but his teammates are able to follow his push up 2 fall for TSM. Once again, kinetic armor available for Slack here. Might be an okay situation to pop it as he's pushing in towards the enemy flag. Proofy left on the defensive side of things. It's going to be KILLCAM. He wins a key gunfight here against Looney. But there's a player middle street for Rise. It's going to be Octane. He picks up that kill on the other side of the map. It's going to be Slack once again. Continue to put pressure over on TSM's base, and Proof, he's forced to bring out the Annihilator there.
And Wheats has actually popped his overdrive, and he's actually got the flag trying to get down the mid street, and he gets cut down by Classic right away. Don't know if there was even a good route for him to bring them.
I mean, it's worth taking the risk. I think, you know, something like overdrive, you could certainly earn it like multiple times in one side. Maybe you could have waited for like Proofy to set up over near like the middle white truck to give you some support or some cover, some covering fire. But now Proofy on the defensive side of things, making some big kills, man. He's having a huge game for his team, trying to stay alive in this series. He's currently 11-3 on a 4-kill spree as he's earning his way over towards some score streaks, 275 points away from the Lightning Strike.
It'd be great for, I was going to say, if he played for that Lightning Strike, that would have been excellent. But he's going to drop, and you're going to have Pac-Man trying to push the base. And it seems like TSM just keeps flooding 1 by 1, and they're able to get a touch, but there's nobody there. The one real good play they had is when Proofy grabbed the flag and ran all the way to the back, and he just took a lot of time.
If Looney wins that gunfight, it's
he pops overdrive, and
yeah,
he gets out of there. 100% agree with you.
Still some time left. Only 10 seconds, though. Slack decided not to go for the flag pull, and it's looking like Rise, they will maintain their 1-0 flag advantage going into the second half, thanks to a clutch flag run by Looney. And, man, how fortunate did he get on that flag run? Not only did he pull it without anybody on the other team dead, he challenges Proofy over near the mid wall. Then he kind of goes on the backside of the truck on the flatbed, and fortunately he pops down behind cover. Then he gets a clutch slide in the bricks. His teammates are able to get the cutoffs from there, but Looney covering so much ground. If Proof was able to pick up that kill, it's a 0-0 game.
Some fantastic movement by Looney in the mid-street, able to just jump up into bricks, get into the second half.
What if he uses overdrive off the break here?
No, I don't exactly agree with that.
I don't either, but what if he does?
I mean, he could, of course, but I just don't agree with using overdrive off that. I feel like overdrive is so powerful in CTF that you shouldn't have to do that.
2 go down early on for TSM. It's going to be Looney putting pressure onto the flag once again, make it 3, as he's going to immediately go for the pull. The one player they're missing is going to be KILLCAM, and Looney says, no reason for me to pop my overdrive here. We know we have control of the opponent's base. Maybe once I get a little bit closer to my flag, might be a better time for me to pop it, just in case that player's playing sneaky.
And it's going to be a flag stalemate at this moment in time. Looney has it over by Trax, and Looney actually drops here, and you're going to have Pac-Man and Wheats going big, picking up some kills. KILLCAM with the flag for TSM. He's going to be down Trax. This one should be a counter cap.
Yeah, that is going to be a flag cap for TSM. They will be able to tie up the game here, thanks to some big plays coming from Pac-Man, aiding the return for his team. And there you go. KILLCAM puts it in. We're all tied up 1 flag apiece.
Yeah, Wheats picked up 2 big kills there as well. So yeah. Pac-Man and Wheats, fighting from grandmas, were able to pick up 2 big kills. Now it's going to be all tied up at 1 flag apiece. It's going to be 2 kills going in favor of Rise. They should make it 3. Is now the time that you pop.
Sneaking through once again.
Yeah, is this the time, though, Looney has his overdrive? Do you like to use it at this moment in time?
They need to get 1 more wave of kills. Oh, he pops it here, picks up the flag, and he's out of there, man. But once again, KILLCAM in a position to force the
They have no idea KILLCAM's there.
Now they do, and he has kinetic armor as well. They're going to see him coming out of top grandmas. He spots one. The Tempest shuts him down. Looney making his way in for the flag cap, and he gets it. As Rise Nation, they retake the lead, and all 4 go down.
Another kill from the Tempest in the kill feed. We talked about how good we think the Tempest can be.
Oh, especially right here.
I think this is a gun or a weapon that we are going to see more often. The Tempest.
I agree.
definitely has been a big factor in tonight's matches.
I mean, honestly, compare the Tempest to the Scythe for me. Do you still prefer the Scythe, even though you've seen how mobile players could be with the Tempest?
I still probably prefer the Scythe.
Okay.
I think, you know, just the ability to just be able to, like, pre-aim and just pre-fire doorways and stuff. But when you're talking about a weapon in the one-hit kill category, I think you definitely...
Tempest #1?
I think I would favor the Tempest over Annihilator at this point.
Okay. Fair assessment for me is it's going to be TSM. They need to turn up the aggression here as they're going to be back on the offensive. Pac-Man really leading the charge for his team as they have Rise kind of pinned back in their base. Some clutch defensive kills need to be made here on the side of Rise as Wheats, he's going to find one. KILLCAM with kinetic armor still available. Also an HCXD maybe to find a defender out of position. He's going to go ahead and push forward, but he walks right in front of a Classic who is not expecting that. Kinetic armor gets popped here. He's going to go ahead and pick up the flag, but is immediately dropped as TSM continuing to try and make plays happen. Octane cleans up Proofy, and on the overextension man, it's going to be Looney getting a flagpole so close to another overdrive.
Yeah, and he's going to, if he wins this gunfight, he's going to have
out.
it. Now, he should definitely pop his overdrive. His teammates winning gunfights in mid-map. Actually, he doesn't need to.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't save it. Looking at the mini-map and, you know, his teammates picking up those kills, does not need to pop his overdrive. Looney, talk about, in the kill department, not the best. But right now, in the OBJ department, really, the last two maps has really been doing a fantastic job. And Uplink, you know, with the dunks and the throws, and then this one, 3 flag caps to his name.
Classic's hitting all of his shots. He's 23-14, leading the Rise team when it comes to slaying. As Looney, once again, behind enemy lines, he's going to pull this flag.
He can go right back out.
Back alley. Whee!
Bye. See you later.
Yep. KILLCAM, he's going to be in hot pursuit, but he's already pretty far away. Looney might take some shots here from behind, but this is looking good for Rise Nation to run away with this game as they go up by 3 flag caps.
Yeah, at that point, it looked like the guys on TSM had just committed to going on the overextension. Not going to work out. It's going to be Looney now with a lightning strike. And he's actually running the Talon. We don't see many players run the Talon.
I think we should see it a little bit more often, I guess, because it's kind of like that 3rd-tier score streak. You might choose to run something a little bit higher, but the Talon is so annoying to deal with.
Oh, I agree. I think the Talon is definitely pretty powerful. Usually we see players go with Wraith or Cerberus. If you're Aches, you go with Raps. But Talon, I feel like, is one, I don't want to say kind of gets forgotten about, but it's one that players don't select a lot of the time.
Wheats, he's going to pull a flag, pops his overdrive, but when he's in position to stop it, he's actually going to pull the flag on his own, and he's just going to play for time as he runs it all the way in the back of TSM's base, playing for the clutch return. But it doesn't really matter at this point. This is going to be a Rise Nation series as they will be able to close it out here on French capture the flag by a scoreline of 4-2. And they win this series 3-1. Fantastic display of Respawn game modes from this Rise Nation team as they show why they're one of the best in the business.
Yeah, without a doubt. TSM dominated the S&D. That question, you gotta see if Rise goes back, works on that game mode, but the respawns, it was all Rise Nation. You see Classic here in the final KILLCAM. He goes 24-17 in this final map. Helps lead this team to a victory. Some fantastic matches all day long, Revan. Let's take a look real quick before we sign off and take a look at the standings real quick. You know, what we have now at the top is gonna be Optic Gaming. They're gonna move to 11-2. Envy going to be sitting at 10-3. Rise Nation with this one, they go up to 9-4. FaZe and Cole 4-5 at 8-5 apiece. And you have Elevate 7-6. And then after that, that top 6, you have a little bit of that drop off. Luminosity 5-8, H2K 5-8. Now TSM 5-8. And look at this, it is a tie for 8th place between H2K and TSM. I believe that goes down to head-to-head. Don't know that off the top of my head.
It's funny, these 3 teams were tied going into today's matches. And they're still tied after today.
And then TK goes all the way down to last place.
DT, they win. The new pickup of Killa already paying off.
Yeah, you know, DT, they win that one. But TK, they are really, really struggling. Would not be surprised to see some action go down before the trade deadline. That is actually tomorrow night, I believe.
Yeah.
And we'll take a look at the schedule for tomorrow's matches here on the primary stream. We got some good ones. It's going to be CLG versus Elevate, followed by Envy going up against FaZe Clan, Optic Gaming going up against Rise, and then DT versus Complexity to close the night out. Revan, which match are you excited for the most tomorrow?
I got to go with Optic versus Rise Nation. They're looking like the top 2 teams for me in the game, but that MV phase match is going to be sick as well. I don't know. It's tough to choose.
I want to see Optic play Rise again. You know, the first time they met up, Optic 3-0'd them. I want to see if Rise is that much better than the last time they met. But that is it for me and Revin tonight. Tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. PST for more Call of Duty action.